So today we will be covering Python. Yeah, so we are going to be learning Python on Replit. Some of you guys were doing like HTML, CSS on Replit, so you may be more familiar with how it works. But I want you all to go to Replit and just put up a thumbs up when you guys reach there. I guess for those of you who are on Visual Studio. Okay, and let me actually show you guys how to create a new project. Okay, this just went to some project I was working on before, but I think you guys might have to create an account. So go ahead and get your account set up. Just create a username and password. And when you do that, you will land on this page. It'll ask you, unless it prompts you with like creating a new REPL. But basically you want to create, you want to click the create button. And you want to click on Python. Hold on, let me respond to someone in the chat. I know the website is really fun to work on right now, but I think it would be easier for me to explain like during office hours, so it's like more like one-on-one conversation. But for now, let's switch over to Python and we'll see what we can get done. Okay. And yeah, Ria, let's just cover Python now. So I think most of you guys should be here by now. So click on create a REPL, and Python is here already because I've been to done Python, I guess, a few times. But if it doesn't show up, just type in Python and just click on the, I think, don't click on the one with turtle, like we don't need turtle, but click on Python. And then it will like let you name your REPL. So I think we could just name this project one. Actually, we'll be doing, let's do a variable practice because that's what we'll be starting off with. Okay, and create your REPL. Okay, is everyone on this page? Totally fine if you're not. I can help you guys out. Okay, I see a few thumbs up. Good, good, good. Okay. Okay, so let's get started with the lecture. Oh, so for Python, we won't be using Visual Studio only because it's a bit easier to run it on Replit. So I would suggest Anjani, just using Replit for now. So yeah, so just follow the so just go to REPL.it. It's, let me just type it in the chat, actually. It's a better idea. REPL.it. And set up your account and create a new REPL in Python. And we'll be going through a few concepts first, so you won't like need to try this out immediately. So if you're like having trouble setting your account up or want me to repeat a few instructions, I can help you out during that time. Okay, you got it. Cool. Okay. So what is Python? Oh, not this yet. What is Python? Have any of you guys, I guess let's kind of start off with, what kind of programming language is this? Is it front end or back end? What do you guys think? So like, oh, I got a message. Backend. Okay, great. So it is a backend programming language. I don't know if some of you guys can still see the slide deck, right? Yeah. Okay. I just got a message. Yeah. So let me go to the next slide. But some of you guys might remember that HTML and CSS, the language we were working on right before this, that is front end because it like deals with all the visual aspects on a website. And Python, since it is back end, deals with all the kind of non-visual aspects behind a website, like the actions that you don't see on a website. So kind of a recap from the first class. When you click a button, the button is like the visual aspect of the website. So it's like what's created using the HTML and CSS. And when you click the button, it takes you to a page. So the action of like taking you to a page, kind of like what happens behind the scenes, that is kind of created using Python or some other language, maybe like Java, which are called backend programming language. Okay, so yeah, Python is one of the easiest backend programming languages, mostly because it has a simple syntax, which makes it extremely easy to read or understand, and it is the fastest way to develop any working program. So this is also the reason that it's very important to know Python, because of its simplicity or flexibility. It's also used in many companies and applications, like artificial intelligence or machine learning. Okay, so we will begin by talking about variables. Yeah, okay. So before I begin, does anyone know what a variable is? Yeah, go ahead, Lillian.
It's kind of, it can be any word or symbol that stores information.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's going off of that. It's like a placeholder for like some unknown value or quantity. So as you said, it can have any name, but it cannot begin with a number, symbol, or capital letter. Yeah, let me actually go to the next slide so you can see that. Yeah, so it can begin with a number, symbol, or capital letter. Python is what you call case sensitive. So like if you begin a word with a capital letter, it could mean like a command or something. So a common practice programmers use is camel case. Does anyone know what camel case is? It's kind of like a writing, coding style kind of thing. You can type it. Okay. So camel case is basically the practice of writing phrases without spaces and separating those words with a capital letter. So an example is like these examples. So like my name, time taken, money spent. Those are all examples of camel case. It's really simple. It's just that you have a capital letter separating the words. But that's just like a good practice so that like people can actually read your code, and it also tells you, you know, what the variables are being used for. Okay, so these are some examples of variables. So like, you know, as Lillian said, they can be anything, X, Y, Z, anything you want to name it, gets the job done, right? So variables essentially have three parts, or I would say four, but three visual aspects and like four kind of unseen. I mean, one unseen. Okay. So the name is the first part of the variable. So an example is x equals 4. The name would be yeah. So the example is x equals 4. X would be the name. The second part of a variable is the equal sign operator, which actually assigns the value to the name, and kind of using these to describe each other. But the third part is the value, which is kind of the it's the, try not to use value to describe value, but it's the quantity assigned to the name. this would be easier to explain with an example, actually. You guys see, okay, yeah, actually they have a name equals value format. So name, say you have X over here and say you have like 5 over here. 5 would be the value and the name would be X. But we will go over that in much more detail in just a second. But the fourth part of a variable is the data type. This isn't, at least in Python, this isn't explicitly stated. It is in Java and other programming, like more advanced programming languages. But I guess to start, does anyone know what a data type is or an example of a data type? Okay. Well, let's see the next slide. I guess the names are pretty self-explanatory. A variable's data type defines the type of data being stored inside of that variable. So there are 5 main data types. Char or car, you could pronounce it anyway. I think char is more common, but there's char, string, which is str, integer, which is int, and double and boolean. So char is used to express characters, and they are declared within quotes. Basically, like almost every key or button you see on your like laptop, every one of those is a character. So like an example is S or T or the ampersand. Those are all characters. So the next data type stands for string. str stands for string. A string is used to express a series of characters. So for example, you can do name equals Sanya. Sanya would be the string. Sanya would be the value of the variable and would have a data type of string. Each element in the string is actually a character. So like you can kind of see that S, A, N, Y, and A, they're all characters. And that's what proves the fact that all strings are made up of characters. So int, the next data type, stands for integer. How many of you guys know what an integer is from your like math class or maybe something else? Well, I'll give you a hint. It is a kind of number. Any ideas? Okay, well, an integer is basically any non-decimal number. It includes all the positive and negative numbers, including 0. So an example is x equals 8, x equals 0, literally like any number that's not a decimal. So if all integers are non-decimals, what are the decimal numbers called? Well, the decimal numbers are called floats or doubles. Doubles are more common, like nobody really says float, but yeah, they're called doubles and they store decimal values. So an example is num equals 1.0 or 5.1, 0.0 also works. Yeah, so those are doubles. And the last data type is a Boolean. So a Boolean can either be true or false, nothing in between, like no maybes or something. And when assigning this value to a variable, you must keep the T in true and the F in false capitalized. So an example is in stock equals true or in stock equals false. And yeah. So there are a few other examples of these data types on the slide as well. But one thing I want to point out, while it's not necessary to explicitly state the data types of the variables in Python, it is really important to know like what data type a variable is, because there are some limitations we will be going over soon. And it's also a really good way to prepare yourself for more advanced languages like Java or C++, where you actually need to declare the data type of each variable, like, you know, int x equals 5 instead of just x equals 5. I think that was the hardest thing to remember for me when I was like switching over, but yeah, here are some practice questions. Okay, I think it would kind of be good for us to like each take turns and say the data type of these variables. Okay, so yeah, I think we could just go around and see if you guys understand it, need help on something. I'll just go in order for my screen, I guess. Lillian, do you know what data type x equals 5 is?
Integer.
Yeah, correct. Okay. Some of these are a bit tricky. I'm just warning you guys, so don't worry if you guys get it wrong because it's all new. Okay, someone needs to go to the bathroom. Okay, yeah. Camila, do you know the data type of the next one? Y equals hello. Oh my god, I think I totally forgot to pass out the Python guides. I'll do that in a sec, but do you know what data type hello
String.
is? Yeah, correct. Good job. Okay. Let me get some water. Okay, sorry. Let's see. Dia, do you know the data type of z equals b?
Is it string?
That is really close. Remember that all strings are made up of characters. So a character is, I guess you could think of it as like a single like element. So what do you think? Because what do you think B would be?
Would be
Well, you were close. Since characters make up strings and this is like a single element, it would be a character. It is easy to get them confused since they're both in quotes. But like I guess the main difference is that the length of like a character is just one. It's like one element. Okay, but good job. What's the next one? This is a tricky one, but Anjani, do you know the data type of A equals space? It is a space. You can answer in the chat too if you're more comfortable. Anjani. Okay, yeah. Do you know the data type of A equals space? And it's a space in like quotes. Okay, it is a tricky one. I'll help you out. So a space, remember I said like almost everything, or I think like everything on your keyboard is like a character. Well, space is also a character, so the data type of A would be character. Okay. Nicole, do you know what B equals 0.0 is? This one's also kind of tricky. So that is close. Remember, it has a decimal point. So what is a decimal number? If you remember. It has like a weird name. Oh, someone raised their hand. Oh yeah, go ahead. If you know it, you can like totally like unmute and answer. Yeah, good job. It is a double. Okay. So this is tricky because like I know it's 0 and like just the thing to remember is that anything that has a decimal is a double and anything that doesn't have a decimal is an integer. But good job. Who's next? Shruti, what is the data type of C equals false?
Is it a Boolean?
Yeah, good job. It is a Boolean. So Booleans can be either true or false, and C is false. So good job. Who is next? Sophia, do you know the data type of A equals 1.0?
Double.
Yeah, good job. It is a double. Because remember it has the decimal. Okay, who is next? Fanya, do you know the data type? Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. You can like totally correct me. But do you know the data type of bool equals true? Kind of gave a hint there, but. And if you need help, just let me know. I can explain. Well, remember, what kind of data type can have, oh, I got a message. Okay, I got a few people with the answer. Let's see if I can help you out. Yeah, it is a Boolean. Good job. Okay. Kind of give the hint there with bool as the variable name. But yeah, that is totally correct. It can either be true or false. And it's true. Let me just, okay. Valentina, do you know the data type of letter equals Y? Okay, so string is close, but remember, remember what we said for like a single element surrounded in quotes. Do you remember what that would be? Okay, I got some people with the answer. String was close. So remember, remember that characters make up strings because they are a single element. Does that help? Does that give you a hint?
Yeah.
So what could it be?
A character?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so Y is a character. Good job. Let's see, I have a few more people. Okay, Anya. What is, okay, this is a tricky one. What is the data type of X equals high? I should have said this in the beginning, but like, not all of these might be proper declarations. So like some of these may not even be proper variables. Okay, character is a bit close, but okay. If it was surrounded in like quotes, it would be a string. But since it's not in quotes and it's not a number, what does that tell us? We haven't really gone through anything without quotes and not being a number or a Boolean. Okay, sorry, that was the tricky one. I'll just tell you, it's not a proper declaration since it's not in double quotes or it's not a Boolean or a number. So, okay, Lillian asked a good question. This would not be a variable since it's, well, it's not properly initialized, I guess. Initialized means that to give a value to a variable, but since the value itself is like, has an error with it, it's not a proper value in Python, at least, it would not be a proper variable. Okay, we have a few minutes. Let's see if I can get through everyone. I have like 4 people left. Okay, Claire, what do you think the data type of y equals exclamation is? String is close, but remember, if there's a single element, what could it be? Okay, yeah, that is correct. Character is correct. Good job. Let's go to Mira. What do you think the data type of z equals 2 exclamations are or is? Okay, this was a tricky one too. Sorry. Character would be correct if there was only one question mark, but since there are 2, that makes it a string. So remember characters are only used for a single element. But yeah, you were very close. So good job. That would be a string. I think Kayla, are you able to hear me? I think you had some computer problems before. Yes, okay, cool. Okay, the next question is also a bit tricky, but what do you think, Kayla, the data type of s equals yes is? This is tricky. Think about it. Okay, so string would be correct. This was a tricky question, only because, well, string would be correct if yes would be surrounded in quotes, but since it's not, surrounded in quotes, it can't be a string or a character. And since it's not the value of true or false, it can't be a Boolean. And since it's not a number, it can't be an integer or a double. So that doesn't really leave us with any other data type. So we can conclude that, it's an invalid variable or variable declaration. There's no such, like, you can't really assign this kind of value to s or any variable. Oh, Sophia, do you have a question?
What would happen? Are you able to put quotes around a true or false?
Oh yeah, definitely. That is a really good question. So when you do put quotes around true or false, so true or false, the value right now is like a Boolean, right? But then when you put quotes around it, it would turn into a string. So anything with quotes that's longer than one element would be a string. So great question. Yeah. Okay. Are there any more questions? I think, did I miss anyone? Don't think so. Oh, Sophia, do you still have a question? I don't know if you've, okay, cool. But I guess I'll tell you the data type of the rest of them. P equals -2 is an integer. C equals true. Oh, okay, yeah. C equals true is a string because it's surrounded in quotes. Oh my god, we are past time. But x equals 0.0 is a double because there's a decimal. Num equals 45. This one is tricky because 45, you would think it's an integer. But since it's surrounded in quotes, that would make it a string. So yeah, this is a character. Likewise, if you did like num equals 4 in quotes, that would be a character. And z equals false in quotes is a string. Okay, so I do want to discuss something really important with you guys. But if you guys really have like a hard deadline, those of you guys can go. But I think this will take like 5 minutes. So let me just run it over quickly. Okay, so basically, I'm not sure how many of you guys saw my email from last night, but I wanted to tell you about an exciting app development competition that is coming up soon. It's absolutely free and it's open to middle school girls only. So, the reason I'm very excited to share this with you guys is because a lot of concepts that I will teach you guys in this class, in this session, will be very useful in the app building challenge. So the competition itself is a very fun experience overall, and it teaches you a lot of things like how and where do you start, identifying a problem, thinking of solutions, building an app, releasing it, marketing the app. That's kind of like the business aspect of it, and how to get revenue from the app. So it's basically everything you can think of. Okay, sure. Bye, Claire. And don't worry, I'll like fill you in later on this, but yeah. Okay. Where was I? Yeah, so it teaches you a lot of things. And it's a really fun and informative experience. I personally have participated twice in the competition and I've learned a lot from it. I highly recommend that you all sign up for it. Okay, so the exciting part is that for the current year, I have been chosen as one of the student ambassadors. Only about 80 girls are chosen from across the world of 3,000 global participants. So I'm extremely thrilled to be ambassador this year. And what that means is that I can guide you girls in the app development even after this whole session is over. And I would be more than happy to do that. It would be the best program for you all, beginning of middle school or end for some of you guys, but you'll get into the contest and learn some really exciting stuff. So I guess how many of you guys would like to build your own apps? Just to get an idea. Okay, I see a few hands. That's great. Okay, so go ahead and sign up. I will send out the interest form, and once you guys sign up, I'm just sending it out. Yeah, once you guys sign up, I will follow up with another email, to send out some more details, and we can have a separate session on that. So this is great. I also want to announce the winners of the winners of the competition we're having. So today's winner is Lillian, followed by Sophia. So round of applause. Good job. Okay, so Lillian, I will reach out to you separately for a little Q&A and maybe a picture that you would like to get posted on our website. And yeah, thank you, you guys. Little warm up. So go to Trinket, create a new Trinket, and declare 3 variables and print them out. And if you already remember how to do those, if you don't have any problems with them, you can also go ahead and complete the bonus question. Okay. And I'll give you 3 to 5 minutes to finish this, and then we can go over it. And yeah, we will be doing Python today. And if you guys don't remember how to log into Trinket, just let me know and I will help you out. I'll just wait. I'll just do it in case. So go to trinket.io. I'm already signed in, but if you're not, you probably want to go ahead and sign in. And then once you're on this page, go to the home button. And then go to, you can create a new one, I guess. Create a new Trinket. And then what does this say? Click on Python. And there it is. So you can start coding over there. And to see your output, you have to click the run button. So this is the console on the right side. And that's where you'll see all of your output. Okay. Yeah, Kayla, go ahead. Just join back. Okay, and you guys can put a thumbs up whenever you're done. Okay, I see a few people are done. And if you're having any problems, don't worry, because we will go over the solution or possible solutions. Okay, I think most of you guys should be done by now. So would anyone want to share their screen and show us what they came up with if you were able to finish? It doesn't matter if it's wrong or not working, because I can definitely help out with that. So if you're comfortable, yes, you can just start sharing your screen and we can go through your code. I think I gave permissions, pretty sure. So does anyone want to go ahead? If not, I can go over the solution.
I created a trinket, but when I was declaring variables, it didn't let me. It's saying bad input on the first line.
Bad input. Okay. So you can share your screen. We'll go over it. Let me actually.
I can't share mine.
All right. Yeah.
So I have, and I added that in because I thought it might help, but didn't.
Mhm.
So it just says.
Right. Okay. So remember, for strings and stuff, like any word is a string, right? For strings, you need to enclose the information in quotes. So like Lillian, you would put that in quotes.
Okay.
And then, yeah, happy as well. Good.
And then,
Okay. Okay. So okay, that looks pretty good, but there's one really common error that we'll be going over soon. So just sit tight and I'll help you out then, because it's a really tricky one. But yeah, this looks really good. So yeah, cool, good job. I'll show you guys my example as well. So 3 variables and print them out. Let's see, I have that over here. So just like Lillian's, I have my string variable in quotes, another variable in quotes, and then since these two are integers, they are not in quotes, right? So then I printed them out using the print statement over here. So when you do that, it prints out the values of the variables on the console. And for the bonus, remember you can concatenate. So for integers, if you add integers together, it'll actually do the operation. So like when I printed this out, where is this? This one printed this right over here. So it actually completes the operation. So like 16 plus 20 is 36. And then for strings, when you add strings together, it concatenates them. So like it adds the strings together, or I guess combines is a better word. But yeah, cool. Let's move on. Yeah, we shared the results. Okay, so we are gonna do a few exercises. So how can we output this on our console using the string variable dog? You guys can try it out, or it's similar to the practice exercises we did in the warm-up. So go ahead and try it out and put a thumbs up when you're done. Okay, so to clarify, I got a message in the chat. So you will be printing out, I have a dog on your console, but you want to use the variable animal equals dog. So pretend that, or add in this variable to your code, and then complete this print statement. Okay, shouldn't take too long. Okay, cool. I think we can cover it now. Let me, do I have it? Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys how to do that. So we have the variable dog. This was given. So how can we print I have a dog? Okay, so that is simple. Oh, forgot the quotes. Okay, so this is a simple string concatenation problem. So you want to use the print statement. Print I have a, and then you want to add the variable to it. Dog. Oh, shoot, the variable name is animal. Okay, and I think we'll add an exclamation mark. Okay, I have a dog. And that should run, and great, it works. So hopefully you guys all have this on your screens. If you don't, I guess take a moment to look through it and add it to your own code. Okay, cool. Let's go to the next example. So this is a similar one, but now let's try adding in two variables. So animal 1 equals dog and animal 2 equals cat. Try outputting that on your console. So I have a dog and a cat. Okay, I see a thumbs up. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna assume most of you guys are done. So this is quite similar. We're just adding in another variable. So let me add in, I'm just gonna animal 2 equals cat. Yeah. Sorry, I think the semicolons might have confused you guys. I'm used to Java, which uses semicolons. But yeah, there are no semicolons in Python. So we're gonna add in, what is it? I have a dog and a cat. Okay, so right now we have I have a dog. So let's add in and a, and then add our variable. I'm just gonna put an exclamation at the end. Okay, the name is animal 2. Okay, let's go ahead and run that. Cool. So we can see it changed to I have a dog and a cat. Okay. So go ahead and take a look at that. And we can move on to the next one. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so this one is a tricky one. Lillian, it relates to the error you got on your code. So I think we can go through this together. Actually, why don't you guys, for those of you who haven't tried out something like this, go ahead and try to print it out based on what we've covered and tell me what you get. You'll get an error, but then I'll show you how to fix that. So let me do it with you guys. My age is 16 and age equals 16. Okay. Let's do age equals 16. And I'm gonna do, you could use whatever number, by the way. So I'm gonna do print my age is age. Right. So my age is 16. That's what should come out. But let's see what happens. Okay, so most of you guys should see this error unless you figured out the problem. But basically what it says is that you cannot, there's a type error, and you cannot concatenate string and int objects on this line. So basically what that's telling us is that, I got some new people joining in. Give me a sec. Yeah. So what that's telling us is that the data type of this chunk of code is different than the data type of age, and you cannot add those together. So looking at age, what is the data type of age? Does anyone want to volunteer? Go ahead.
Integer.
Yeah, that is correct. So age is an integer, and my age is, like this line over here, is a string. So we can't really add mathematically an age and like an integer and a string. Like you can't add a number and a word together and get like, I don't know what you would get, like a number, but mathematically that doesn't work. The only operations you could do is like a string plus a string or a number plus a number. So what we need to do is we need to convert age to a string. So like age in a string form would just be 16 with quotes, but the data type would be quotes. So to do that, we can typecast. So this is called typecasting. Okay. So let's go ahead and run that. See what comes. Yeah. So if you change the data type of age to a string, the code will run properly. So as you can see, we have my age is 16 over here. So you just add an str in the front of age. So take a moment and add that to your code and let me know if it works. If you're still running into some errors, just unmute or text me in the chat and I will check it out. Okay, are we good to go? Good. Okay, I'm gonna wait a few more seconds. If anyone needs more time, just raise a hand or something. Okay, I think everyone is good with that. So let's go to the next one. Oh, I actually had a slide on the correction. Okay, I'll go over it again. Yeah, so you know how we can't add an integer and a string together? So you would have to change the data type of the integer variable to a string. So to do that, you just put str in front of the variable and it would be converted to a string. Cool. Okay, so now we'll be going over a similar example with the same tricky thing. Okay, so go ahead and try this out, guys. You want to print out, I have 10 dogs and use the variable num equals 10. And I think we did have a few latecomers, so if you guys are confused on what we're doing, we're just doing some practice exercises. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know, because this is a confusing concept. Okay, I think that should be enough time. Okay, I'm gonna go over the solution. same concept, just a different variable. So num equals 10. And we want to do, what is it? I have 10 dogs, right? Okay. I have, and you want to insert, remember you insert the variable always after the quotation. So I have, what is it, num, I have 10 dogs. But then this won't work because num is an integer. So you would have to convert it to a string for it to work. So let's go ahead and see if that works. Yep, and it works right over here. Okay. Is that concept clear for everyone, or do we want more practice? Either way works. Good. Actually, wait, more practice. Put a thumbs up if you want more practice on this. Literally, yeah. Anyone? Okay, okay. Let me do one more problem. Let's see, do I have another one? Okay, we can do this one. Okay, so this one's a bit more complex. Okay, so how would you print this out using the variable age? So my age in 1 year will be 17. And assume the variable age equals 16. So age equals 16, but you want to print out 17. So what would you do to age? If you got it, just put up a thumbs up or something so I will know. Okay, cool. I see 2 people. And if you need help, you can unmute and I will go over it. Okay, I think most of you guys have it. Okay, I will go over it. If there's anything confusing or something you want me to repeat, feel free to let me know and I will do that. All right, what is this? My age in 1 year will be 17. Okay, so let's use the, okay. So let's do, oh, this is looking really disorganized. Okay, let's do age equals 16, which was given. And let's print my age in 1 year will be, okay, so we are going to add in a variable. Let's take it step by step. Will be, and I'm just going to put an exclamation mark at the end. Okay, so this again will give us an error because it's an integer and you can't add integers and strings. So you need to convert this to a string by doing this. And again, this will give us, okay, let me show you. So this will give us my age in 1 year will be 16, but we want to output 17. So what operation would we do to age? Does anyone wanna, yeah, go ahead, Lillian.
You can just write +1.
Yeah, that is correct. Let's do age +1. Cool, so 17. Another common mistake some of you might have done is like if you do +1 on the outside. So that won't work. Again, you get the same error. You can't combine string and int objects. And the reason you get this is because you're converting age, which is, can I highlight? you're converting age, which is a integer, to a string, but then you're adding 1 to the string, and that doesn't work. So like you're kind of repeating the mistake. So you want to do age plus 1 so that it finishes the operation of adding 1 to 16, and then you want to convert the whole thing to a string. So yeah, parentheses are pretty important in coding. Okay, and yeah, this is 17. Okay, I'll leave it up for a bit if you need to make any changes. Okay, and let's go to the next one. Oh, okay, we are done with that section, and now we are going to go over how to make interactive Python programs. Okay, so to make our programs interactive means that we will kind of be communicating with the user. So one way to do this is to collect user input. User input involves 2 people, you and the, oh, gotta skip the slide. Okay, yeah. So user input involves 2 people, you, which is the programmer, and the user, which is the person using your program. So user input is basically just information you get from the user. Okay, so to get user input, we need 2 things. We need a way to retrieve that specific information from the user, and also a way to store information from the user. And we can accomplish this task by using the input function. So the input function is used in the format x equals input and then prompt in parentheses. So does anyone know what x looks like over here? What's the function of x? Have we seen something like this before? Here's the hint we have. Yeah, go ahead.
Would it be a variable to store the input?
Yeah, exactly. Good job. X is definitely a variable, and it is storing the input the user enters. So what this line is doing is basically prompting the user for information with the prompt, and then whatever information the user enters is saved in the variable X. So obviously this would be much easier to understand with an example. So let's go ahead and do that. I do have an example. Okay. So let's do, let's just do animal again. Just gonna copy paste this over here. Okay, so animal equals dog. And let's ask the user, hold on. Okay, so let's ask the user, what is your favorite animal? Okay, so this is our question for the user, and we are saving whatever the user says in animal. So to actually see what the user inputs, let's just print it out. Let's do your favorite animal is, and let's just remind them of their favorite animal. Okay, so what happens when we run this? Oh no, I'm gonna comment this out because it doesn't know what animal is since I removed it from there. Okay. So what is your favorite animal? So as you can see, user input is really fun actually, since you can enter whatever you want. But let's do dog. So there's like a place for you to enter information. So I'm doing dog because a dog is my favorite animal. And there you go. We printed the variable out containing the user's favorite animal. So you guys, yeah, go ahead, Lillian.
say we had like a different kind of question as like how old are you, and the answer was a number, would we have to use string and string and then the variable to
Okay, so that is a great question. You actually would not. And the reason for that is because anything you take as input is saved as a string. So if you wanted to do, let me show you. What is your favorite number? I'll just change this to num. And we're gonna do num. So let's do like 5. And yeah, so the reason this works is because 5 over here is stored as a string, since anything input takes is always stored as a string. And that's why you're able to like just print it out straight without having to do like string and num in parentheses. So the reverse case would happen if you wanted to like add two numbers together. So oh, there's a message in the chat. Yeah. So like say I wanted to add two numbers together, I would do like print num plus 5. So if you do this, you would get an error. And we will see that in to do this again. Yeah. So as you can see, we did get an error over here because let's just look. It's really helpful to read the errors. So like the error is telling us that you cannot combine a string and an int object on line 41. So that proves the point that like num is a string object and you cannot like combine it with 5. So again, you would need to do int in this case. So you're converting num to an integer, and then you can add it to 5. I think this works in Python. Does it? Yeah. So it's interesting because it's kind of like the opposite of what we were trying to do before. So like in one case it's string, if you're converting an integer to a string, and then in this case, since 5 is like stored as a string over here, you would convert it to an integer to be able to do integer math with it. Okay, so great question. Yeah, I'll let you guys look over that for a bit. If you want to like try something similar, you can totally go ahead and do that. I'll give you guys a sec if you want to go ahead and try that out. Okay. Okay. And yeah, let's continue. Okay, what is next? Oh, yeah. So you can try out these examples. It's basically what we've been doing, but a bit simpler, I'd say. I want you guys to try out number 2. Is this your name is? Yeah, go ahead and try out number 2. So just like experiment with this function. It's pretty cool. Does everyone like understand this topic or have any questions? If you do, please go ahead and ask. Yeah, and this input function is pretty useful in like a lot of bigger like programs where you need like information from the user, or you want to use that information somewhere to like make a certain choice or something. But we'll be doing those kind of programs in, well, the next topic. So as you're trying this stuff out or like exploring with different uses, yeah, ask any questions you may have. Okay, does anyone want more time? Okay, I think we can go on to the next topic. Okay, so this topic is pretty exciting. So we will be going over Python conditionals. So how many of you guys know what a condition is? Yep, Lillian, go ahead.
If then else.
Yeah, correct. That is exactly, those are like the main keywords of a condition. So basically, oh, you guys got it all. Okay, yeah, a condition is basically something that a computer can decide is like true or false. True is the computer answering yes, and false is like the computer answering no. So as you said, if, then, and else are the main keywords, and we will be going over that in a sec. So just want to start off with this. These are just some logical operators that Python supports. So like there's the equals operator. Something a lot of like an easy mistake to make is that you forget like one of the equal signs in like, say you're comparing A and B and you want to check if A equals to B. Instead of using a single equal sign, you would have to use two for Python to actually like know, oh, you're comparing these two things like that. So remember, it's always two equal signs, otherwise you'll get like some sort of error. Not equals, not is denoted by like the exclamation mark and an equal sign. Less than is like the angle bracket kind of thing. Less than or equal to is like less than or equal to. So the angle bracket and the equal sign, and same for greater than or greater than or equal to. So I think you guys are pretty familiar with these kind of operators. In math and stuff, you've probably heard of most of these things. So yeah. Let's go over how to form an if statement. Okay. So here's an example of a Python if statement. Basically, it's in the format if condition do something, like if that's true. So like an example, like over here on the side, if x is less than 5, again, using one of those like math operators. If it's less than 5, print hello. And the output is if the variable x, if the value of the variable x is actually less than 5, then you would print hello. Okay, so let's go ahead and actually try that out. I think I have way too many variables, so I'm gonna like comment that whole thing out. And if you guys want to know how to comment like a huge chunk of code, you just click Control and the slash button. Okay, so I'm gonna like do, what is it? X equals 4. Okay, I said 4 and I typed 5. Okay, x equals 4. And let's check if, okay, I'm surprised you don't need parentheses. Okay, if x is less than 5, print, let's make it more meaningful. Let's just do x is less than 5. Okay, and let's go ahead and run that. Okay, so we can see that x is less than 5. So that is true. But what would happen if x was not less than 5? Let's actually go to the next slide. So if x is not less than 5, you would write something called an else statement. So like Lillian said, if this is true, do this, and then else, if it's not true, do this. It's kind of like, that was kind of circular, but else is basically that whatever happens if the first condition is not true. So let's try that out. So if x is less than 5, do this, and else let's do x is, I'm gonna say not less than, because if I write greater than, it could also be equal to, and we don't know that. So x is not less than 5. And I'm gonna go ahead and change the value of x so that like we can actually see this running. Okay, let's run it. Yeah, so as you can see, x is not less than 5 was printed on the console. And the reason it was printed on the console is because our variable x equals 6, when it was checked that x is less than 5, or same as saying like if 6 is less than 5, we found out it wasn't, and then it went directly to the else statement. So you see x is not less than 5 printed out on the console. Okay, so it's similar kind of to how you would talk in real life. I would say that's what makes it pretty easy to understand. So if this condition is true, do this, and if it is not true, do this. So I guess if else statements are pretty limited, that's why you have like a, oh, I don't have a slide for that. Okay, that's why you have like an if else statement. So like in this case, it's really easy to understand why you would use an if else statement. So you don't only have like less than and greater than, like you also might want to check, oh, like what if it's equal to the number? So in that case, you would want to check another condition, like, what is it called in Python? I think it's like elif. Yeah. So it's elif. You would do elif x equals 5. So remember 2 equal signs. You would want to print x is equals. Okay, and then after that, you would put the else. So let me run through this again. Basically, instead of having just 2 conditions or 2 choices, we're checking 1 if x is less than 5, else if it is not, we're checking if x is equal to 5, and if that is not true, the only thing it could be is that it's greater than 5. Greater. So we're basically checking multiple conditions. And one thing to keep in mind is that not only one of these conditions can be true. So like if once this first condition is true, it won't look at any of this. It won't check this at all. Okay, because this is like an else, and this has to be false for it to go to the next conditions. And same applies for the else. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this. So yeah, x is greater than 5. Let me actually make this 5 so we can see our condition working. Yeah, so as you can see, the condition worked and x is equal to 5. Cool. If you guys are typing this up as well, I'll give you a moment to do that. And if you have any questions or want me to repeat anything, please let me know, because I know that section was a bit fast. If you want me to repeat the explanation if you missed something, you can let me know in the chat as well. Okay, seems like you guys are all good. Okay, so I actually want to try out. Should I? Okay, I'm gonna tell you this one quick thing first, and then we can go to like the more complex programs. Okay, so these are just logical operators. It allows you to like combine if statements. Okay, so in an and, okay, when you use the and operator, that allows you to like say that if both of these conditions are true, then do something. But like if one of them is false and one of them is true, one false is enough for it to like go to the next condition. Okay, and if there's an or, that means that if one of them is true, then it'll go to the next condition. If one of them is true, then it will treat that as like the whole thing is true. Okay, let me show you because it is a lot easier that way. So let's do if x is less than 5 and x is greater than 0. I'm going to change this to x is less than 5 and greater than 0. And we can do over here. Well, you don't know what you could put here because it can be either greater than 5 or less than 0. So let's do x is either greater than 5 or less than 0. So our value right now is, we do less than or equal to 5. Okay. So as you can see, what was printed out is x is less than 5 and greater than 0. And the reason this is printed out is because x is less than or less than or equal to, my bad. Okay. X is less than or equal to, yeah. So the reason this was printed out is because x, which is 5, is less than or equal to 5, and 5 is also greater than 0. Okay, so since both of those conditions are true, it printed out this print statement, which is printed if that first condition is true. Okay, but what happens if we put, let's do -1. So let's think right now. -1 is less than 5, but it is not greater than 0. So what do you think would happen? Anyone can like unmute or put in the chat. If x is -1, which print statement would be printed out? Don't be afraid to ask if you have any questions. Oh wait, I got a message in the chat. Okay. Oh, yours won't show up. Oh, Shruti, sorry, this was like what, 5 minutes ago? Okay, I didn't see that message. But is it working now? Whatever didn't show up?
Like the one that we started with x equals -1, that thing, it won't show up.
Like, oh, like this statement?
Like the thing that says print, nothing will show up. It's only my old stuff.
Okay, so you're saying that this statement doesn't show up.
That one and the other one.
Oh, and the other one. So like what values do you have?
Basically,
it could
the same
be,
ones you have.
oh, the same ones? Okay. So I think it'd be easier if you share your screen. I'm gonna stop sharing and I'll help you out with that. Okay, cool. -1. Oh, okay. So like you see the kind of gray box thingy in the console? Like, yeah, so click there. It's because you still have your input statements working. So like, you can either enter in something each time you run it, or you can like comment all the code above. Because it's like waiting for your input from the previous like commands that you entered. So like, do you want to comment it? That's just what I did because it's easier that way.
Wait, what do I do?
Oh yeah. Okay, so highlight like everything from line 37 and above. Yeah, all the way to the top. And you see the control button? So keep pressing control and then click the slash button, like right next to the question mark. Yeah. So if you do that, did I talk about comments? Comments aren't like considered as working code. So basically when you run your program, the computer will like ignore all that code and only run the function you're working on. So like go ahead and run it again and that should work.
Okay, how it works.
It works? Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great. Yeah, good job with everything else though. Looks good. Let me share my screen again. Okay, yeah, I did get a response for the question I asked. Let me just ask the question again to remind you guys, but basically, if x equals -1, which statement would be printed out based on these conditions? So like this one or this one. So Lillian, you are correct. The else statement will be printed out. And the reason for that is because if either one of these conditions are false, so like if x is not if x is not greater than 0, or if x is not less than or equal to 5, it'll treat this whole thing as false, and it'll immediately skip to the next condition. Okay, so let's try that out. And that's great. We got what we wanted. So because only one of these conditions are true, instead of both of them being true, it goes to the next condition since it's treated as false. Does that make sense? I mean, if you want it easier to understand, I can do. Okay, so less operator thinking here, but this is also a bit easier to understand. If x equals 5 and x is less than 0, print this statement, or else if it's not, print this statement. Basically what this would do is that both of these conditions have to be true in order to print this statement. So since only one of them is true, since -1 is less than 0 but is not equal to 5, it will only print the else statement. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Again, yeah, so it ran the same thing because it was false. Okay. So if that doesn't make sense to you guys, please ask any questions you have. And yeah, I'll answer them. Is there anything we want to go over again? No? Okay. Okay. So we're gonna do like, okay, before this, I kind of want to practice using user input with conditions. So like instead of, I'm gonna go through one example with you guys. So instead of having, like, this is the fun part. This is where you can like do anything, honestly. So like instead of having a given variable, you can ask the user, let's do x. Should I say x? Okay, I'm just gonna use x. Okay, so you can ask the user, what is your favorite number? Okay, so again, whatever they enter will be stored in x. And if that number that the user entered is equal to 5, and if it's less than 0, then print out these statements. So it's literally like the same logic, but we're just having like any number, honestly. That's where you like realize the usefulness of conditions and stuff. I think since X can be like any number you enter. Okay. So using something like this, how can we check if the user's favorite number is less than 2? Oh, I'm gonna have to, okay, we have 3 minutes. So I'm gonna give you like 2 minutes to do this, and then I'll go over it quickly. Yeah, let me make this a bit more clear. If it is, print hello. So if the user's favorite number is less than 2, print out hello. Okay, I think I'm gonna go over it now. So again, we're just asking the user his or her favorite number, and then to check if it's less than, did I say? Yeah, less than 2. So we can do this. If X is less than 2, and hello. Over the quotes. Yeah. Cool. So let's see. Okay. I'm gonna do 1 or something. Did it work? Oh, that's weird. Let me try again. Oh my god. Okay, wait. If the okay. Yeah, okay, 1 is not less than 2, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna do if let's do, guys, did I just say 1 is not less than 2? Okay, my bad. Okay, so what is your favorite number? Is it working for any of you guys or not? Did it work for you guys? Okay, let me just do if 2 is greater than. Okay. All right, put a thumbs up if it worked for you. Oh, we kind of reached time. Okay, so I think I will like assign this as homework since we haven't like finished this topic completely. But okay, for those of you guys who are interested, I am also going to go over the app building competition. So yay, excited, right? Okay, so stay with me unless you guys have some like other commitments right after this. But I'm gonna, yeah, quickly go over this. So, okay. Let me get this ready. Yeah, so I wanted to introduce you guys to an app building challenge called Technovation. Next slide. Yeah, so what is Technovation? First of all, Technovation is a global education nonprofit that empowers girls to become leaders, creators, problem solvers in their own community. So what is my role in this challenge? Well, I have participated twice in this app building challenge and really enjoyed it. I was selected to be student ambassador this year, one of 100 girls selected globally. So my job is basically to guide you all in this program. So what should you guys expect as part of this program? Okay. Well, as part of this program, you will basically be building a mobile app to solve a community problem and bring your app to the market. So in this process, you will code your own apps, build a business, and pitch your own products. So like present them kind of to a judging panel. So additionally, with the support of volunteer mentors and parents, you girls will work in teams to code mobile apps that address real world problems. So last slide. Let's go into a bit more detail here. How does this challenge work step by step? So you will start off by identifying real world problems. So you will find a problem in your community and develop a solution to it. And this basically helps bring technology to life in an immediate, tangible way. So you will create your own team and work together. You will also have the support of a mentor and a parent, and will be connected to a student ambassador, which is me, to guide you all through this entire process. So together you guys will brainstorm, meet together, often to learn from a specific curriculum and cheer each other on. And keep in mind, when everyone's contributing, everyone is also building a long-term community of learning. Okay, so you will basically build your app and pitch it to a panel of judges. And in doing so, you will be a part of a global movement. So far there are like 140,000 participants and almost 10,000 solutions built for solving community problems. So I would encourage you all to sign up with this challenge and get started. So if you guys are all interested, I hope you all are. I'm gonna send the sign up link. So go ahead and sign up. And yay, that basically concludes our meeting for today. I hope you guys are all interested, excited, and yeah. I got a few messages. Yeah, and yeah, these this competition is all for beginners, so there's nothing to worry about. Cool. If there are no questions, I will see you guys next class. Thank you everyone for coming. And if you are having like trouble and want to stay for office hours, definitely go ahead and stay and I will help you out. I think especially with the website and stuff.